right, folks, good evening. Welcome to DuePoint once again. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 45 to 60 minutes with you going through what DuePoint's all about, what the company, what the opportunity is all about. Welcome to everyone who's tuned into the live stream. We have about 300 people watching online in the next hour or so. So we've got a massive audience outside of this head office. Unbeknown to all of us, right? People probably sitting in their lounges, maybe some people sitting in bed watching the presentation. The beauty of technology. Before we begin, I just want to remind everyone, Spring Vision, that little flower you see up on the screen, it serves as a reminder, 77 days left of spring. If you don't know what Spring Vision is, go look at the Spring Vision Development Seminar that Brendan did a couple of weeks ago. We all need goals. Right? Spring Vision is all about setting up goals, setting up a strategy to really maximize your success in the next few months. So let's keep that front of mind. Okay, let's begin. So you at our head office, we're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. They were founded in 1952, very long time ago. That's their building in the background in Randburg. They're just down the road from us. Their little orange logo. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. You'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all these certificates up on the wall. Those are FSP licenses. So go take a look at those. We've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got an investment license. We've got our FSP license on display. We've also got our accreditation with the Direct Marketing and the Direct Selling Associations. We take credibility very seriously at DuePoint. We want our audience, our guests, our wealth engineers to trust the business that they potentially going to be partnering with, and that's obviously a fundamental step in considering any partnership, is that you trust the business that proposes the partnership. The executives and the managers here at DuePoint, or these people that you see up on the screen, are ranged from least good looking to best good looking, from shortest to tallest. You can see what the photographer's done here. The first three people on the not so good looking side of the screen are all registered chartered accountants. So Brendan is our senior executive. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly insurance, because their family's been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. His dad's been in insurance for 50 years already. They've started up a number of businesses. Brendan's dad started Clientele Life. He was one of the founders of Clientele Life decades ago, very successful insurer. They've started up businesses all around the world. Brendan and his brother Stuart actually followed in their father's footsteps. They went on to found another business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD. We all know PMD because they do so much advertising on TV and radio, and there's billboards all over Johannesburg. So we're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Tim Reynolds got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years. Reported directly to the CEO and the board of executives there, so a fairly cushy corporate job. I'm not sure why he decided to join this new division here at DuePoint, but we're very lucky to have him. He heads up all the auditing, the regulatory, and the accounting aspects of our business. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She was with the Deloitte group of companies in South Africa. She then got transferred to Luxembourg in Europe, and she worked there for a little bit before she came back to South Africa and joined us. And then the two good-looking people in the picture, Jane and myself. Jane has got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. She brings international experience with her because she's from the UK. So she brings that experience to our team. Even though we're an insurance company, our success is actually predicated around our growth. And our growth is dependent on our success and our effectiveness with regards to network or referral marketing. Right? And so Jane brings that experience to the team. And then myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising most of my career. I started my own company at the age of 23, a digital agency. In those times, the internet, only young people knew about the internet. So at 23, I was fully credible to start an internet business. And so I started a digital agency in the mid-90s. I ran that for almost 20 years, fairly successfully. Like I tell everyone, we didn't retrench anybody. We paid salaries to all the staff every month, so I can deem the business to be successful, right? But I exited the business. I walked away without a cent. And I'll touch on why I did that 17 years after I started the business a little later on in the presentation. So that's a little bit of background on the people here. Our mandate as staff of DuePoint is to support the people that join us in this partnership. Everything that we do here is to support you. And so know that throughout this business, throughout the presentation, that the people in this business are always here for you. It's really a true collaboration with the people that join our business. We want to see you effective. We want to see you successful, because as a business, we can only be profitable if you're being successful. And so it's in my interest to make sure that you support it as much as possible. Okay. All right, so why are we here this evening? What is tonight? I always got to think about what day it is today. It's Thursday today. It's Puza Thursday, right? Is that what everyone calls it? Puza Thursday? I know it because there's a bar on the top floor of the building next door, right? So I know it's Puza Thursday because there's lots of people that come here, they go upstairs and they're drinking on a Thursday, right? It's the end of the week already. They're probably not productive tomorrow. But we sitting in a business presentation on a Thursday evening, and I like to understand why. Well, I know why people are here, but I like to elaborate on why people are here. What are the driving factors behind why people would be sitting in a business presentation in the middle of Bryanston on a Thursday evening? You could be at home with family, you could be cooking, waiting for generations to come on, do whatever you're doing on a normal Thursday night. But we find ourselves here, and there are a number of factors that push us, that drive us to looking for something extra. Right? So the person that spoke to you and invited you here this evening, they might have alluded to some financial opportunity. Right? They said, you want to earn more? Money, income, right? Blatant as that. You want more money. That's really what it's all about. And you said yes, and you're here. So there's a couple of driving factors, because like I said, there's better things to do on a Thursday evening than listen to me in a presentation. But what's pushing us to looking at entrepreneurial opportunities? There are three things. So one, I think, is the economy. 9.3 million people unemployed. Workplace is extremely competitive at the moment with so much unemployment. We're in an economy that's in recession. So when we so desperately need to be creating jobs, we're actually still losing jobs in South Africa. South Africa as a company is shrinking. Right? This is terrible for us because our population isn't shrinking, our population is expanding. We've got about 800,000 kids coming out of school every year into a marketplace where there's no jobs for them. So the future does not look good from an economy point of view. Then we look at the second driving factor, and it's the four-letter screen that you see up on the screen. Can you see the four-letter word? It's staring back at you because it loves you so much. Right? It is debt. So when we're faced with the economy that we're in, we've got inflation sitting at about just under 7%. We've got food inflation sitting at 11%. And the phenomenon that we see is that people's salaries are actually devaluing every year. Right? Because I can ask the entire audience, who got a 7% raise for the last 7 years in a row? No one puts their hand up to that question, ever. Normally the other questions I ask, one person puts their hand up at least. But when I ask that one, no one. No one has gotten that 7% increase every year for the last 7 years. So what's happened is that your salary is actually devalued against the cost of living. And so your salary starts devaluing, cost of living is increasing, and this gap starts to form. And you start to become more aware of it month to month to month to month, right? And what we try to do is we try to solve the problem with debt, okay, which is not a good thing to do. But sometimes we're forced to do this. And South Africans will engage in all kinds of debt. We've got home loans, car loans, personal loans, educational loans. You can buy anything on hire purchase. You can buy food on hire purchase. Buy anything on your credit cards. Revolving credit that can outlast you. And so South Africans engage in so much debt, and it's often we criticized by economists saying that South African as a whole, as a culture, we just engage in too much debt and not enough in savings and investments. And on average, South Africans will only start to look at investment products around the age of 50, right? Which is too late. It's too late because you've got this date, this deadline bearing down on you. You know what life's deadline is? It's called retirement. So here's some data that was published on the Fin24 website late last year. It paints a picture of what responsible retirement planning looks like. So we've got 3 columns. Each column is headed with a number, an income that you would derive from an investment that you make, right? So if you're a very responsible person, like one of those 3 accountants that we saw up on the screen, and you start saving from the age of 20, and you save every year, save every month, save every month, save every month, save every month, save every year for 40 years, you'll be in a position where you've created enough of an investment, right? A retirement annuity, a pension scheme, fund, whatever. So in this case, this person saved R1 million. The R1 million will pay you out 5,000 Rand a month in income for the next 30 years. So if you retire at the age of 60, that investment will last you for 30 years, right? The R1 million will run out if you're taking that much income out of it. And so it'll last you 30 years to the age of 90. So that's kind of good planning. But who can survive on 5,000 Rand a month? Anyone in the audience happy to survive on 5,000 Rand a month? But maybe you've paid the house off. Maybe you don't have any debt anymore. Maybe the kids are out the house. 5,000 for you and your spouse. Is enough? No? Okay. Okay, so then I assume everyone's at the moment planning to save more than R1 million. Are we all currently saving more than R1 million? Everyone putting away more than 800 Rand a month? You can't say no to everything I'm asking you. Right? Does it become apparent the problem that is bearing down on us? Because when you get to retirement, you're not going to have an income anymore. And you can, in the back of your mind, go, oh, well, I'll just work more. In an economy like ours, where there's 9.3 million people unemployed, you're not just going to find another job at the age of 60. Right? And so we all have a very big problem. So let's look at the second column. There's way more dignified income to retire with, 26,000 Rand a month. If you want to be in that position, you have to have saved 5 million Rand in an investment. Right? If you're one of those responsible people, again, you only have to save 4,000 Rand a month for 40 years. Right? So from the age of 20 to the age of 60, you put 4,000 Rand a month away, and that has to increase in line with inflation every year. So your contribution has to be going up around 6 to 7% annually. People aren't doing this. 2% of South Africans will get to retirement financially independent. 2%. 98% of us will be faced with the reality of once we get to retirement that we actually have a lot less than what we used to, right? There's some ad running on the radio at the moment about retiring rich, and they quote some fact saying that 90% of the population will get to retirement with the reality of having to survive on less than half their regular income. So the statistics we get are dismal. Out of all of this negativity, as a business, as an enterprise, DuePoint saw an opportunity to create a platform that the average South African can engage in, and this is what the proposition is all about in this presentation. So I'm going to be discussing a business opportunity that allows anyone in the room to engage with us and join DuePoint, and with the hope of changing your circumstances. And that's why you're here on a Thursday evening, not watching Generations, right? Because you want to change your circumstance. There was a little bit of hope in your heart when the person that invited you here said, just come look at the presentation. It's a financial opportunity, and they might have said a couple of other things, and that's really what we're going to be discussing. The people that join this business, we've actually got 3 aspirations or 3 goals for the people that join us in this partnership. And these things aren't things that you have to abide by, but these are aspirations that we have for you. Number 1, we want to see the people that join us, our wealth engineers, to become debt-free. And this is probably something you haven't even thought of, right? It's probably, for me, I never thought to myself, oh, let me make it a goal of mine to become debt-free. I've just accepted that debt is a way of life, right? It is. Debt's a way of life. Only now, in the last couple of years, have I started thinking about it a little differently, and suddenly started thinking, well, maybe I should actually try to pay my bond off a little faster. Or maybe I should try to pay this off. Or maybe I shouldn't buy a new car. You know, it's become a lot more apparent to me. But I'm 40 now. I only have 20 years left. I've gone through half my working career, and only now am I thinking about these things. And so our first aspiration for our wealth engineers is really to see you become debt-free. And I really want you to think about that. Think about what it must be like to be debt-free. Right? At the end of the month, I laugh, I joke with the audience, I say at the end of the month, what happens? We get the one SMS from our employer saying we've got paid a salary. You know that SMS? That's a good SMS, right? Your phone, bling, bling. You look at your phone, salary. But what happens after that SMS? You get another 20 SMSs, right? Then you think it's your squeezer, your scallum, your mom, everyone, there's an emergency. But you realize it's not an emergency, it's debit orders going off your account, right? And then you're praying that there's money left over before the SMSs finish, right? And this is what we all experience. If you become debt-free, You'll get one SMS from your employer saying, here's your income. You'll get another SMS from DuePoint saying, this is a return that we're paying you this month. That's it. Think about all that money just sitting there, waiting for you to decide what to do with it. And that leads us on to our second goal. Our second goal is to see wealth engineers start investing in true assets and investments. Right? We want you to start putting your money, investing your money into something that has long-term value for you, so that you can enjoy a retirement, so that you can move from the 98% into the 2%. Right? You've got to do that for yourself. And then number 3, our third aspiration is just to see wealth engineers happier, smiling at the end of the month after only 2 SMSs. Not having to stress about the cost of living, about the rate of inflation, about the rate of unemployment, stressing in December and January when you've got to pay for kids' education, stationery, new school clothes. I keep saying to my daughter, how fast are you growing? Buy your shoes every 3 months. You need to slow down. Can't afford shoes every 3 months, right? And you don't have to worry about all these things. Brendan will often joke and say, money isn't everything in life, but it's about 95% of it, unfortunately. And this is what we want to solve for the average South African. All right, so our guests here this evening, how does this happen? How do you get involved? You join DuePoint, we call you wealth engineers. You actually contract with us. When we contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we only expect one thing out of you, and that is for you to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And really what that is just you going out and telling people about the DuePoint business opportunity. That is all you need to do, right? The benefit for you in this process is that you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. This is obvious. This is why you're here this evening, to make extra money. But the nature of the income that you create here is not normal income. It's recurring income. Now, recurring income is a massive difference to generating normal income. This is the primary reason why I left my business. Because in my business, when we ran a service-based business, so our company was made up of account managers, salespeople, designers, and programmers. And ultimately, we were selling time, right? So you came to me, a company would come to us and say, oh, I want a Facebook page, or I want to run a Twitter campaign, or I want to build an internet website, or an online shop. And we would do it and invoice them. And every month, we would have to go out and look for new business. And we would invoice that business and hopefully make costs and be able to pay costs and salaries. But at the end of the month, we'd start at 0 again. Yeah. And I'd have to go out and look for business again. And this would go on and on. For 17 years, I did this, chasing this number every single month because we didn't create recurring income. The effort that I put into building our business wasn't going to ensure that I got paid next month or the month thereafter. In this business, you get to build an asset. The asset is what pays out the recurring income for you. So you can put effort into this business in September 2017 that will pay you next month. It can pay you in December for September's effort, right? Mm-hmm. Not October's effort. We're talking about only September's effort. It can potentially pay you for the next year, for 2 years, for 5 years, potentially up to 10 years away. And this is what recurring income is all about. You get to harness the power of duplication. We've built the system so that you can leverage your efforts. What is that? It means that when you go out and you build these channels of distribution, you have the opportunity to build an effective team around you that is going to be doing the same thing as you. If you only have an hour a day in this business, but you've got a team of 10 people working with you, each putting an hour in, now suddenly you have 11 hours being invested into your business, building your asset, paying you out a greater recurring income, right? This business is flexi-time. Do not treat it like a flexi-time business. Flexi-time businesses aren't successful. When I say flexi-time, it means that you can decide when you want to do the business, not when you feel like doing the business. If you want to be successful as a wealth engineer, at the end of this presentation, if DuePoint, if this opportunity is something that you want to engage with, at the same time, I want you to please have decided how DuePoint fits into your life. What does that mean? That means you need to decide what you're going to sacrifice to fit DuePoint in. Is it every Thursday evening? What does it look like? You get to choose what it looks like. But you have to keep yourself accountable to holding yourself invested in those time slots every single week. That's just a tip. You don't have to listen to what I'm saying. But I've been here long enough to see that the people that routinely commit time to this business are the ones that are successful. The ones that feel like doing it here and there, they aren't. There's no startup capital in our business. There's no registration fees. We don't sign you into contracts, 12-month or 24-month contracts. There's no box of product that you have to buy to get started in this business, right? So there's no huge commitment you have to make to engage as a wealth engineer. There's no qualifications or experience required. We work in financial services. We have got a lot of obligation towards the FSB regulator, right? And you don't have to worry about any of that. So you can still enjoy the benefits of being involved in financial services without that obligation. You get to build an asset. Now, this is probably one of the most important points or benefits on this slide, because most of us, I would assume, are employed by somebody else. We are working, or potentially will work, 40 to 45 years working for somebody else. You will spend your lifetime building someone else's asset. You think about that? That's what employment's all about. In this business, the time that you're going to sacrifice and invest into building these channels of distribution is you building an asset that you own, right? You get to partake in the upside of your effort. In the workplace, you get paid a salary at the end of the month. You can go to work, I promise you, you can put double time in at work. You think you're going to get double your salary? No chance. You're begging for a 7% increase once a year. In this business, the accountability lies with you. Your efforts get translated into success. That success is translated into the value of an asset that will pay you out a recurring income. There is no selling involved in this business. Now, who's confused by that? There's going to be no selling involved in the business. What are we up to here? Right? We contract you out of selling. You're actually not allowed to sell. Like I said before, what we expect of you is to go out and speak about the business opportunity. Not about our products. Not about our products. About the business opportunity. And that's what people are interested in. You speak to anyone in the street, you say, I've got a financial opportunity for you. Or do you go to someone in the street and say, I've got an insurance product for you? Which one do you think they're going to listen to? Right? So it's actually to your benefit. It's to your benefit. Financial opportunity is the greatest commodity in South Africa at the moment. That's what everyone is interested to hear about, right? That's what you're going to speak about. The nature of our products are financial. This means we don't have stock and distribution issues. You don't have to bring your uncle's bucky here on the weekend to load up stock to go sell on the weekends to your family, right? Our products don't take up space at home. They don't smell after 3 months when you've forgotten about them in the garage. There's no expiry date. And so we make this business as convenient as possible for people to engage with. But the success of it is predicated on your ability to go out and build these channels of distribution. They begin with you. You become a wealth engineer, you're going to go out and tell people about the DuePoint opportunity, as I've been telling you. If you're successful in that and you get people to come sit through the same presentation, they get to decide whether they want to become wealth engineers. They become wealth engineers. They take out one of our products. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. Those people that you invited to this business and joined will go out and do exactly the same thing. They also want to change their circumstance. They also want to start taking control over their income. They want to change their futures. And they'll do exactly what you've been doing. And this is where leverage comes in. This is where the power of duplication starts to happen. Because this is organic growth that can take place in your channel based on your early efforts. You only know 5 people. But look at the size of your channel. Every single dot represents a person with a product that you're getting paid for every single month on a recurring basis. We want to see our wealth engineers get to the point where they've built a sustainable enough business that you can go on holiday for 3 months and not worry about your income. Can you picture taking a 3-month holiday? I've dreamt about a 3-month holiday for 20 years. 20 years. Imagine the realization when you get to that point where you can go sit on the beach for 3 months and get paid an income every single month while you're sitting on the beach. Wouldn't that be an awesome position to be in? So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. This is what you expected to go out and build. Okay? But I have a disclaimer slide. This is my warning slide. For those people that arrive thinking, I've been invited to one of those schemes. Anyone think that? You don't have to put your hand up. I know there's a lot of you, right? I'll remind you, we are a 70-year-old insurance company. We listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. Do you think we would be a get-rich-quick scheme or a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme? Does an executive from a Ponzi scheme stand in front of you and present his business opportunities, business case to you? Or does he hide behind YouTube in another country and tell you, put money in this account? Right? I hope it's obvious to you that this is not one of these schemes. On the other hand, we'll never promise you success quickly. You will never hear Brendan or myself say that this business is easy, you'll be successful quickly. Doesn't exist. Even the wealth engineers that have shown success fairly quickly in this business, we still tell them, your business is not sustainable yet. You have to put 5 years into this business before you can go, I'm taking a 3-month holiday. Does that scare some people? No? Okay, I've got a good audience this evening. Some people leave when I tell them that. 5 years? I want a get-rich-quick scheme. Please show me where the get-rich-quick scheme is. That's what I'm looking for. So that's my warning slide, right? I don't want anyone coming into this business with short-term expectation. You will become bitterly disappointed and quit. And I don't want that for you. I want you to have long-term expectation. I want you to have a huge goal. A huge goal. What is your goal? Debt-free? Completely debt-free? Within 5 years? Retire with 15 million rand in property assets? Maybe that's a goal. You set a long-term goal. It'll allow you to get through the short-term frustration, right? I don't want to see quitters in this business. So how do we pay our wealth engineers? There's actually 2 ways to benefit as a wealth engineer. So the one way is through the returns program. The second way is through our rewards program. So the returns program is what we pay our wealth engineers based on the amount of product that they have in their channels of distribution. So this explains the mechanics behind the returns. So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product that's in your channel every single month, right? So remember the first 5 people you introduced to the business successfully? They lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you. You know these people personally. You brought these people in, and on your first point, we pay you 55 Rand. We pay you double the base return fee for those people. So it's 55 Rand for every product every month. The people that they bring lie on your second point. On your second point, again, we pay you 55 Rand for every product every month. And then down to the third point, the multiplier drops to 100%, and then you see it start reducing all the way to the 8th point. But when you grow your business beyond the 8th point, we will keep paying you that 4% of the 27.50 Rand. In theory, into infinity. We don't limit you on how large your channel can get at DuePoint. We won't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Again, the accountability lies with you, right? So this is the mechanics of the returns. The next natural question we get is, well, how much money do people make in this business? Give me an idea. 55 Rand, I don't know. I don't know if that's a lot or too little. Or so what we did was we projected a return over the next 5 years, right? We called it the path to success. It is based on a formula that we call the 3+2 growth formula. It assumes that you as a new wealth engineer in your first month can bring 3 people into the business successfully. And then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in another 2 people. So in September, you're going to bring 3. In October, you're going to bring another 2. In November, another 2. December, another 2. You're going to keep bringing 2 people every month thereafter, right? Into perpetuity, forever. If you can do that, you can expect these kind of returns. After 6 months, you could be earning about 2,500 Rand a month. How does that sound? I don't know. You're undecided. You're waiting for a bigger number. Huh? Let me give you some context to 2,500 Rand. Because I know you, like me, we think like consumers. I'm trying not to think like a consumer anymore. How does a consumer think? Consumer looks at money and they go, what can I buy with that money? 2,500 Rand. I can't buy much with 2,500 Rand. A pair of Nikes cost 2,500 Rand. A punnet of avocados cost 2,500 Rand. Right? We need to stop thinking like consumers. So I'm going to give you a little bit of context. I want to show you what the value of 2,500 Rand has in your life, because I know that everyone here has got debt. Can I assume that? 99% of us in this room have got debt, right? And our first aspiration for wealth engineers was to get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. So this person listened to me. After 6 months, some success at DuePoint, they're earning 2,500 Rand. Instead of spending it as a consumer, They decided to do the boring thing and pay debt off faster. How boring is that? Right? So here's an example of someone with R1 million bond. They owed the bank R1 million for property that they got a loan for. The home loan, the bond. Right? So at the age of 40, if I engaged in this bond, found a nice townhouse, decided to bond it over the next 20 years, it'd take me 20 years to pay it off. At 11,500 rand a month, I'd be paying the bank for 20 years. At the age of 60, finally, I would have paid my last installment and become a homeowner. But I had the opportunity, 6 months into DuePoint, to take that little 2,500 rand and place it into my bond as an additional payment. What happens when I do that? I will pay this house off in 11 and a half years instead of 20. I've nearly halved the term of my bond. I've saved myself in repayments, in payments that I would have made. I've saved myself R1 million. Isn't that crazy? The house cost R1 million. 2,500 rand saves me the full value of the capital asset that I've gone out and got a loan for. That's 6 months away. After 12 months, you could be on 9,000 rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 rand that you're making for yourself annually in recurring income. Think about how your December suddenly improves with an extra 100,000 rand a year. You're going to complain about the cost of stationery and your kids' feet are growing too big or not? No, you won't. Right? You keep going. After 24 months, you're close to 30,000 rand a month. You're going to be earning 200,000 rand a month, an extra 30 grand a month. Nothing to snark at, right? How many items can you tick off your cost of living with 30,000 rand extra a month? You speak to Pumi, she wants a chef, a butler, 2 helpers. You could do that with 30 grand a month, right? After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 rand a month. At the 30-month mark, here's an example of someone with a 5 million rand bond. You put an extra 36,000 rand into your 5 million rand bond, you'll pay that house off in less than 7 years. That's got to take discipline, right? You earning an extra 36,000 rand. Would you really want to pay your bond off faster? It would be tough for me because I just want a Porsche. A 911 silver Porsche, gold mag rims. 36,000 rand a month will get me that. But Rob's telling me I must pay my bond off sooner. But what happens if I do? I can let my imagination run wild. I think, okay, at the age of 40, I've got a 5 million rand house. I can pay that off by the age of 47. I'll buy another house. At the age of 54, I'll buy a third house because I paid the second one off. By the age of 61, I've paid off all 3 5 million rand houses. Now I'm somebody that's got 15 million rands worth of property assets. Do you think I'd be worried about my retirement? When I'm living in a 5 million rand house and renting the other 2 out at 60, 70,000 rand a month. I can retire, I can live in my 5 million rand house comfortably, I can be renting out the other 2 and quite easily buy a Porsche 911 Turbo with a 60, 70 grand. See the old man with the grey hair driving the fast car? Maybe, right? Think about money differently. Not what you can spend it on today. That's easy. That's what 98% of us do. Think about how we can spend our money today. 48 months, close to 70,000 rand a month. After 60 months, 5 years, you're close to R1 million in annual recurring income that you've created for yourself. Where did I lose you? The number got too big. It started out too small, now it got too big. Right? I lost you somewhere along the way. You're thinking, I can't even imagine 100,000 rand extra a month. Now you're thinking, 2,500 would be nice. Let's go back there. That's where it all starts. You need to get excited about the 2,500 rand. 2,500 rand a month has to motivate you, right, in the first few months. But this is all academic. This is just an example the accountants came up with. The 3 + 2 formula. You bring in 2 people new every month. You can get there. You can treat it like a hobby. You can go, there's a flexi-time business. I do it when I feel like it. You'll probably become part of the 0 + 0 growth formula club. And you'll have 0 after 60 months. And then you'll tell other people, no, that system, that DuePoint doesn't work. Right? That's how we think. Can't blame ourselves. But we've got wealth engineers making this work. I've got many, many, many wealth engineers that show other people that the system works. Right? And they do more than 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 is just an example. If you want more than 2,500 rand after 6 months, who's stopping you? I'm not stopping you. It is up to you. Here's Mlu, he's actually from King Williamstown. He joined at the end of last year. He did nothing for about 3 or 4 months. He did not believe that we would pay 55 rand a product. He used to tell his lead wealth engineer, the person that invited him to the business, there's no ways they pay out 55 rand. That business is a scheme. Right? That's what he said in his interview. You can go watch him on YouTube. Then he had a meeting with himself in the mirror. Anyone had a meeting with themselves in the mirror lately? Right? That's when you know things are getting tough. He had a meeting with himself and he said he needs to do something. Right? Because his circumstances were getting worse and worse. And he decided, well, let me try this. And he referred 3 people to DuePoint successfully. And at the end of, I think it was February, he got paid 165 rand. He could not believe it. And suddenly his belief in the business and the system changed. By June, he was earning 3,500 rand a month. In a single month, he increased his own income by 25%. Where does a business grow 25% in a month? That was the middle of August at 10,000 rand. Songi from Kwamashu joined in April. That was just the other day. She's already on 12,000 rand a month. Go listen to her testimony. Her testimony is awesome. She had to convince her husband for them not to watch DSTV for a month so that she could afford her DuePoint product and get stuck into this business. She said to her husband, no DSTV this month, but next month, I will pay the DSTV. That's how much belief she had in herself. And she had to take a huge leap of faith. She didn't know DuePoint. We've been around. The division was launched last year in February. Do you think she can afford DSTV now? Right? Business is about belief. Entrepreneurship is about belief. Sia from Madadeni, February joined, 2.2, doubled it over 2 months, tripled it again a month later. Guys, the accountability lies with you. These people do not get special preferences. They don't. The first time I spoke to Sia was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. First time I spoke to him ever. The platform, the system remains the same for everybody. Dani, he joined when we launched the business last year. His income has gone up every single month since he joined this business. Isn't that awesome? To have control over your income, to know that the effort that you put into the business gets put into an asset that you have ownership over that potentially grows every single month. That must take all that stress away. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers doing this, earning an income for themselves over and above what they get from their employers. You might be happy with just extra 500 rand a month. You need to decide that. You might need 10,000 rand a month. It is up to you. You decide what your goal is and you find out how to get there. So this is a returns program, right? The 2 ways to benefit as a DuePoint wealth engineer. One through the returns program, and the second way to benefit as a DuePoint wealth engineer is through our rewards program. So the rewards program works like this. You become a wealth engineer and you start doing wealth engineer things, like telling people about DuePoint, coming to presentations, bringing guests with you, watching our training, logging into your dashboard. When you do all these things, we give you something called XP, experience points. And when you start collecting more and more experience points, and your business, your channel starts to grow, we reward you along the way, right? So if you become a wealth engineer this evening, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. You want to get to rank 1 as quickly as possible, okay? And it's not far away. You only need 1,000 XP and you only need 4 products in your qualified channel. You can achieve those 2 things, you become rank 1, and we give you an extra 55 rand at the end of the month, on top of the 220 rand that we would be paying you for those 4 products. and then you go for rank 2. And as you start to rank up in the program, you see the rewards get bigger, right? 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give our wealth engineers tools that allow them to build their channels faster and more effectively. Yes, Patrick and Pumi at rank 5, they received a lightning USB stick. It's a beautiful little device because it plugs into anything. It plugs into cell phones, into handheld devices, one of these iPads, doesn't matter what the platform is. It can be Android, iPhone, banana. It plugs into laptops, computers, TVs. That little thing plugs into everything. But more importantly, it's got our video collateral on there. So Patrick and Pumi can show anyone on any device what DuePoint's all about. At rank 7, we get these premium, luxurious, I say luxurious, business cards manufactured for our rank 7 wealth engineers. A single set actually costs us 24,000 Rand to manufacture for one set of business cards. But we get them made in pairs. And if you know anything about the printing business, if you get them done in multiple sets, the price comes down. So we get a pair done, it costs us 12,500 Rand. They're 4 times thicker than the other card. They're printed on a black paper that feels like suede. There's no ink on these business cards. The logo and the edges are gilded in gold. When you go out and speak to someone about a business opportunity with the name DuePoint, they probably don't know what DuePoint, they never heard of DuePoint before. So what credibility do you have, right? But when you put a 25,000 Rand business card in their hand, suddenly your credibility goes up. Suddenly they're willing to give you a few more minutes to explain what DuePoint's all about. This business is about first impressions, yes, at least initially. At rank 9, we take our wealth engineers, our rank 9 and above wealth engineers, and their families on a business class flight to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip every single year. Think about that. You get to rank 9. You tell your family, we're flying to Mauritius this year on business class. We're staying at a tier 1 5-star luxury resort, one of the best resorts in Mauritius. We're staying there for a week with DuePoint. And next year we're going to go again. And the year after that we're going again. And we're going to keep going. So here we have footage of the resort that we're going to. This is available for everybody. So that was the actual resort. Did you see how big that swimming pool was? Can you imagine your toes in the sand? Got to imagine these things, but you have to get excited about rank 1 first. You're not allowed to get excited about rank 9 unless you rank 8. Can you get excited about 55 Rand? You're lying to me, all of you. Okay. Where did one gentleman get to rank 9 in 5 months? There's no time limit on this. You can take 5 years to get to rank 9 if you want to. Again, the accountability lies with you. Yes? What happens at rank 11? We hire a car for a weekend and you get to drive it around. No. We spend R250,000 on a brand new car and we give it to our rank 11 wealth engineer. No debit order at the end of the month for the car you're driving around. That's the big thing, right? We all have debit orders going off for cars. No debit order. You'll become that much closer to becoming debt-free. This program goes to rank 20. It actually goes to rank 28, but we could only fit up to rank 20. If you're getting a free car at rank 11, what happens at rank 28? What do you think? What do you think? Anyone guess it right? I've heard house, a jet. Cyril Ramaphosa will be my butler. You can let your imagination run wild, right? So it indicates to you the long-term planning that we have in this business, right? We haven't designed up to rank 11 or up to rank 15. We've designed up to rank 28. We've got 30-year plans in the pipeline for this business. The third way to benefit, there's actually a third way to benefit as a wealth engineer. We call it a wealth quest. This is something that we do once a month. It is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers every month. It's different. The reward is different that we attach to the challenge. This month is called Expand Your Empire. We challenge you to find 2 new wealth engineers in 2 separate provinces other than the one you live in. So we're all sitting here in Gauteng. You might know someone in Limpopo or in KZN or the Free State. You go find 2 new wealth engineers in separate provinces. You help them and support them to become qualified wealth engineers. And if everyone pays for their product successfully before the end of the month, you will have a brand new iPhone in your hands next month. Right? And that's this month's challenge, to keep the flavor fresh every month. So this is our wealth quest. We're going to ask the question, well, how does DuePoint afford all of these things? It sounds too good to be true, right? Traditional insurance companies will spend a lot of money on client acquisition through marketing and advertising. So someone like Prime Meridian down the road, they spend a fortune on a daily basis advertising through TV media, a billboard, everything. DuePoint doesn't do any advertising. You won't see our logo outside of this building. We rely on our wealth engineers, our partners, to go out and tell people about the DuePoint business opportunity. And so we don't spend the billions on marketing and advertising with media companies and publishers and broadcast companies. We take that portion of our premium and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of these returns and rewards that we've just mentioned. All right, make sense? Okay. So what are the products here at DuePoint? You are free to look at taking out one product or all 3 products. It's purely up to you as a personal decision. We've got 3 products that all have financial benefit. The first product is an investment product. It's called the Access Wealth Plan. It is made up in 2 parts. The first part is a product called our investment product. It's a tax-free investment account that we set up for you. The Access Wealth Plan costs 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand will go into this tax-free investment account. Right, so it's not a notice deposit or a fixed deposit. The account sits with Sanlam. You can draw that investment out at any stage. It takes about 72 hours for us to process, but it's completely flexible. On top of the investment account, we've got an accident policy, and this is a personal accident policy that pays out in the event of death through accident to the value of 110,000 Rand. So if you have the Access Wealth Plan and you are killed in a car accident, for example, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. So this is product number one, the Access Wealth Plan. Product number two is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is strictly insurance. So this is only an insurance product. It's 274 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of our personal accident cover, it's not life insurance, right? It doesn't pay out in the event of death or natural causes. It pays out in the event of accidents. But the beauty of this is that we can offer the product to anyone over the age of 18. You can be 70 years old, you can be diabetic, you can have cancer. We can still offer you this product at the same premium with the same amount of cover. Okay, so product number two is Wealth Guard Insurance. Product number three is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club Program, also 274 Rand a month. This product aims to save you money on the money that you're spending every month anyway. Right? So a big thing like groceries, for example. So we've got a list of retailers and partners that you see over there. We've gone to them and negotiated corporate discounts with them that we share with our Wealth Points members. So we've got ShopRite Checkers. You get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers. Along with the other retailers there, we've got Hirsch's, Take-A-Lot, Vodri, Yuppie Chef. New one is Always On Wi-Fi data. They've got 2,500 Wi-Fi hotspots around the country. You can buy a gig for 36 Rand with Always On. That is a third of their normal pricing. Right? So we've negotiated that for our wealth engineers. The Entertainer is awesome. It's an app that runs on your phone. It gives you access to 1.3 million Rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers. It gives you access to restaurants, hotels, spas, live events. We've got Eagle Forward as a partner. We are always adding new partners onto this product. If you're looking for immediate benefit, this is a great product to have. Okay, so those are the three products. If you have any questions, come speak to me. I remind you of the support that you get here as a wealth engineer. Don't assume that you know how to do this business or you're going to do it better than everybody else. We have set up an entire infrastructure of support. We want to see you guys as effective and successful as possible. So plug into that support. Find out what it's all about, what it is. The live stream, our events, our presentations get live streamed to the entire country every single time we do a presentation. It is your opportunity to build your business outside of where you live. Right? In any town in South Africa. So use that. Use our facilities. Get plugged into the support. The decision slide. What is the decision? I'm hoping I'm not going to have to go through the whole presentation again. The decision is to step out of the employment box, really. Employment is great. It is great for paying bills. It is great for covering the cost of living. And that's where it ends. You want to start looking at building wealth, that has to happen outside of employment. That requires sacrifice, it requires accountability, it calls for leadership. And if you're willing to embrace these things, well then perhaps this business is for you. But it is not easy. It is fraught with frustration. We are a people business, and people are frustrating to deal with. Right? Have you noticed? I've noticed very much in the last 2 years how frustrating people are to deal with. Tough to get on with your own family. But if you're willing to put up with the downside of entrepreneurship, well, then the upside is waiting for you. And that is about taking control of your income, not being dependent on what's happening in the economy, what your boss thinks of you, what the inflation is doing, the cost of oros and avocados you don't have to worry about. That is all the upside. And if you want that upside, if you've got a big enough reason to motivate yourself on a daily basis to sacrifice time into a business like this, well then, I'd love to embrace you in this business. We make joining very easy. We've got iPads in the breakout rooms. We've got free Wi-Fi that you can jump onto. If you've got your own smartphone or tablet with you, jump onto our homepage. It's www.DuePoint.net. Click on the big blue apply button and go through our application process. It takes about 7 minutes, and at the end of it, you're a wealth engineer. Done. You're part of the Rank Zero club. You need to get out of that Rank Zero club as quickly as possible. But you can start doing that in 10 minutes time. You can start attempting to build your channel of distribution. That's how quickly you can start building value in this business, in this asset that you have ownership over. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools for our wealth engineers to benefit you in building your channels of distribution. Please consider getting business cards. If you are ever involved in business, you will know it is a requirement of professionalism to have business cards. So all our merchandise is on display in the merchandise cabinet. The pricing is on the counter. Consider getting the business cards. It takes us about a week to 10 days to get you 500 business cards. It just adds to your proposition when you speak to people. The USB stick's very convenient because we've got our videos on there. You don't want to use data, you can use the USB stick. Okay. We are going to Durban this weekend. Very excited. Durban is a crazy place when it comes to entrepreneurship. People are on fire there to make money, right? So we're on Durban on Saturday. There's 2 presentations that we're doing, one intro, one development seminar. Make sure that if you know anyone in KZN that they're going to this presentation. It's your opportunity to start building a channel down in another province, right? You want to maximize your exposure, your success in this business, grow in another province. It is the easiest way to do it, right? So this is opportunity for you to build in KZN. Like I said, if you know anyone there, make sure they're coming to the presentation on Saturday. A change to our process here at head office, so this only affects head office, is that we're moving all our guests and wealth engineers from the parking lot in the business center to just across the road. So if you come into our parking area, you'll notice across the road behind you is our tennis courts, right? That's Bryanston Sports Club, and there's parking available there. So from tomorrow, we're going to be changing the process. That's where the parking is, so it's just up the road. On the left, it's about a 100-meter walk, not too much. So now you're not only going to be making money at DuePoint, you're going to be losing a little bit of weight in the process, getting stronger legs. Right, there's a lovely little paved walkway down to the main entrance. At the main entrance, we'll have somebody waiting here to welcome you into the offices. That's what the Bryanston Sports Club entrance looks like. You need to make sure that you are registering yourself whenever you come to our presentations at head office online. So if you're not aware of that, become aware of it very quickly. You go into events on our website and you click register for tomorrow's presentation and for every presentation in the future. Just put your name down, you put your guest's name down. It's as simple as that. Okay. We've got a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it if you can. It'll tell you every time we put a new video up. There are hours and hours, days and days of information and knowledge sitting in this YouTube channel. So go take a look at what's on there. If you subscribe to it, it'll tell you every time we're doing a live presentation. Once you become a wealth engineer, download our mobile app, right? iStore, Apple devices, and Android devices are supported. It'll reflect exactly what's happening in your business in real time. So I love to think. My father said to me when I was a young man, young boy actually, he said to me, you need to get involved in business that makes money while you're sleeping. Right? This is it, by the way. I used to think he was talking about other things. I don't know what I was thinking about then. But I realize now that making money while you're sleeping is getting involved in a business that creates recurring income. Because when you download this app, it'll tell you whenever your channel is growing. And when you get to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and see that your business grew while you were sleeping, that is a wonderful thing. Then you know you're in the right business. So download the mobile app, guys. I thank you for your time. The bar's open upstairs next door if you don't want to join DuePoint. But for the rest of you, good luck. Get to rank 1 as quickly as possible. Come speak to me if you have any questions. Thanks so much.